Rick Harrison once stood behind a glass counter in Las Vegas, a symbol of hustle, ambition, and the dreams of millions who watched him make deals on television. Pawn Stars, the show that made him a household name, quietly ended in 2025, leaving fans stunned. There was no announcement, no finale, no farewell, just silence. Behind the cameras, Rick faced lawsuits, family strife, and the unbearable grief of losing his father, mother, and son within just a few years. Each loss piled on top of the other, like bricks building a wall he could not escape. His son's death from an accidental overdose left a wound that would never fully heal. His mother's lawsuit over alleged financial betrayal reopened family scars thought to be long buried. His son Corey moved to Mexico, leaving behind the legacy Rick had worked his entire life to create. Yet even in this darkness, Rick tried to find hope. He began pitching Pawn Stars 2.0, a reinvention of the show he had built from nothing, a fragile spark in a storm. Insiders doubted him. Critics whispered about financial desperation, but Rick's resilience had always defined him. Every setback was a lesson in persistence. Every heartbreak a reminder that life demanded both grit and patience. This is a story not just of a collapsing television empire, but of the human cost of fame. Behind the glittering deals, the rare collectibles, and the cameras capturing each negotiation, there's a man grappling with grief, regret, and the hope that he can rebuild what the world has allowed him to lose. His journey is both cautionary and inspiring, a testament to how fragile success can be and how the human heart struggles and endures even when everything seems to crumble. Long before the cameras and fame, Rick Harrison's life was defined by constant change and quiet grief. Born on March 27, 1965, in Lexington, North Carolina, he grew up in a household where discipline and duty clashed with fragile warmth. His father, a Navy man, demanded order and obedience, while his mother tried to hold the family together through losses and moves that never stopped. Rick's older sister, Sherry, died at 6, leaving a silence in the house that no words could fill. That quiet absence shaped his earliest understanding of life. That joy was fleeting and tragedy could strike at any moment. By age 2, the Navy sent his father to San Diego, forcing the family to pack up and start again. New cities, new schools, new faces, each move demanded adaptation, resilience, and a hardening of heart. Childhood for Rick became a series of arrivals and departures, where stability was a luxury he never knew. At 8, seizures began, a cruel twist of fate that left him bedridden for days at a time. While other children ran, laughed, and played, Rick lay in darkness, fighting his own body, feeling powerless. Yet within that enforced solitude, a quiet transformation took root. He picked up books, one after another, discovering worlds that no illness could touch. Stories became lifelines. The Great Brain series introduced him to Tom Fitzgerald, a boy who thrived on cleverness and cunning solutions. Rick saw himself in those pages, imagining ways to solve life's puzzles, to turn adversity into opportunity. Reading gave him a sense of agency when life offered none, planting the seeds for the ambition and sharp mind that would define him as an adult. Even in suffering, even in loss, he found a path forward, a quiet hope that knowledge and determination could shape the life that circumstance had tried to break. By the time Rick Harrison reached his teenage years, life had already tested him in ways most adults never face. The seizures persisted, the moves continued, and the weight of responsibility pressed down harder with each passing day. At 14, seeking escape from the pain and the boredom of isolation, he experimented with marijuana, a brief relief from a reality that felt relentless. His parents sent him to rehab, a difficult and humbling experience that forced Rick to confront choices and consequences early. Those sessions taught him something he would carry forever. Every shortcut has a cost, and resilience is forged in discipline, not impulse. School became another battlefield. Repeated absences left him behind academically, and by 9th grade, Rick realized the traditional path would not work for him. The world demanded a different kind of education, one found outside classrooms and textbooks. By the early 1980s, he was living in Las Vegas, hustling at swap meets, learning the art of buying low and selling high. Fake Gucci bags, then fake Jordache jeans. Every deal, every pivot taught him a lesson in market awareness, risk, and timing. Success was never guaranteed, but the thrill of creating something from nothing became intoxicating. At 17, the stakes grew higher. His girlfriend Kim became pregnant, and the couple welcomed their son, Corey, shortly after Rick turned 18. Suddenly, his hustles were no longer just for himself. They were for two young lives depending on him. That responsibility drove him harder than any ambition alone ever could. Early heartbreak, young parenthood, and the constant need to adapt gave him a rare understanding of life's fragility and its demands. Each lesson, whether in loss, failure, or victory, became a building block. In these formative years, Rick Harrison learned not just how to survive, but how to fight for a future he could shape, no matter how uncertain the world around him seemed. In 1981, Rick Harrison and his family arrived in Las Vegas with only $5,000 to their name, a fragile lifeline for starting over. The city was raw, unpolished, and unforgiving, a landscape far from the bright lights it would one day become. With nowhere to turn, the Harrisons opened the Gold and Silver Coin Shop, a tiny 300-square-foot space barely enough for customers to walk through. Every day was a test. Sometimes the shop barely made $100, sometimes more, but the lesson was clear: success demanded perseverance. Rick worked tirelessly by day, repossessing cars by night, driven not by fame, but by survival. The legal barriers only added to the challenge. At that time, new pawn shop licenses could not be issued until the city population reached 250,000, a number officials thought decades away. Rick refused to wait. Every week for 8 years, he called the city statistician, tracking the population with unwavering patience. When April 1989 finally brought the threshold, he rushed to City Hall and secured the license that would change everything. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop officially opened on Las Vegas Boulevard, still small, but now legally recognized. The first year was lean, but the shop gradually gained traction. Rick and his family learned the rhythm of commerce, the delicate balance of trust, negotiation, and reading people. Each deal, whether a broken watch or a rare collectible, carried weight. For Rick, it was not just about money. It was about proving that persistence could bend circumstances, that ambition could triumph over hardship. Every interaction, every item purchased, every deal closed became a story, a lesson, a piece of the foundation for the empire he would one day build. In those early years, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop was more than a business. It was a crucible, shaping a young man who had learned to survive, adapt, and dream despite the odds stacked against him. By the early 2000s, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop had grown into more than just a business. It had become a landmark of trust, hustle, and human connection. Rick Harrison's keen eye for value, his ability to read people, and his relentless work ethic had turned a modest shop into a hub of curiosity and commerce. But even with success in hand, Rick dreamed bigger. He wanted the world to see not just the deals, but the people behind them, the stories that made each item priceless. After years of pitching, revising, and explaining his vision to production companies, Rick finally found the right partner. Left Field Pictures suggested a name change, Pawn Stars, and in July 2009, the show premiered on the History Channel. What followed was a phenomenon. Millions of viewers tuned in, captivated by the mix of history, humor, and family tension. The show showcased more than rare collectibles. It revealed a family working together, navigating disagreements, and finding humor in the chaos of everyday business. The chemistry between generations, Rick, his father Richard, his son Corey, and friend Chumley, made every episode feel authentic. Rick became the anchor, balancing wit, negotiation skills, and a quiet wisdom honed through decades of struggle. His decisions on camera reflected lessons learned in small, gritty moments: reading, hustling, pivoting, and taking responsibility. From paying $250,000 for rare illustrations to securing historic guitars, Rick's deals fascinated viewers because they combined knowledge, instinct, and passion. The show transformed the shop overnight. From 100 daily customers to over 1,000, then 5,000, it became a Las Vegas destination, a living symbol of Rick's vision. Fame brought scrutiny, but also opportunity. Interviews, public appearances, and book deals followed. Yet amid the glitz, Rick never lost sight of the human stories, the challenges, the triumphs, and the relationships that truly defined his journey. Pawn Stars was not just entertainment. It was the tangible result of resilience, ambition, and the belief that even the most ordinary objects could carry extraordinary meaning. Even as Pawn Stars captured the hearts of millions, Rick Harrison's personal life was quietly unraveling. Fame could not shield him from heartbreak. His father, Richard, the old man, passed away in 2018 after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. Rick lost not just a parent, but a mentor, a guide, and a friend who had stood beside him through every small victory and painful setback. The grief hung heavy in the shop, visible in the quiet moments between deals and in the rare, unguarded expressions Rick allowed himself to show. Then came another blow. In 2024, his mother, Joanne, passed away at 85, leaving behind unresolved legal tensions. She had accused Rick of taking advantage of her while she was in the hospital years earlier, claiming he mismanaged her stake in the family business. The lawsuit reopened wounds, painting a picture of trust fraying under the weight of loss and money. Rick faced the dual burden of public scrutiny and private sorrow, trying to navigate responsibilities while grieving deeply. The most devastating strike arrived in January 2024, when his son Adam died at just 39 due to accidental fentanyl and methamphetamine toxicity. Years of battling addiction had taken a toll, and despite Rick's efforts to support him through rehab, relapse remained relentless. Adam's death left a hollow space that no success or fame could fill. For Rick, every achievement felt tinged with the ache of absence. Every deal and public appearance carried the weight of what he could not recover. Amid these tragedies, Rick continued to push forward, trying to balance grief with the responsibilities of the business he had built. The pain was constant, but so was resilience. Each loss shaped him, reinforcing the fragile human reality behind the public persona. This section of his life reminds us that even in the spotlight, sorrow does not discriminate, and that true strength is measured not by what one achieves, but by the courage to endure what life takes away. Fame and fortune often cast long shadows, and for Rick Harrison, the limelight brought not only admiration, but legal storms. One of the most turbulent periods came with his longtime friend and cast member, Chumlee, facing serious legal issues. In 2016, law enforcement raided Chumlee's home, uncovering firearms, drugs, and paraphernalia. The charges ranged from felony weapons possession to attempted drug offenses. The event sent ripples through the Pawn Stars brand, leaving Rick and the team grappling with public perception and personal concern. Watching a close friend endure legal consequences while the cameras continued to roll created a strange tension between reality and performance, loyalty and legality. Meanwhile, Rick's own family disputes intensified. His mother, Joanne Harrison, filed a lawsuit alleging that Rick had mismanaged her financial interests while she was hospitalized, reigniting old family wounds. The claims, combined with the media scrutiny following Chumlee's case, painted a portrait of a man besieged from all sides. Rick had built an empire on trust, negotiation, and human connection, yet the very bonds that had propelled him forward now tested his resilience. These controversies underscored the fragile balance between public life and private hardship. For Rick, every legal document, every news headline, and every whispered speculation became part of an ongoing struggle to protect both his family and his legacy. The human cost of visibility was stark. Personal relationships strained, emotional burdens multiplied, and the weight of responsibility pressed heavier than ever. Yet in facing these trials, Rick's perseverance shone through. He remained committed to his principles, his business, and to the people who depended on him, demonstrating that strength is not only measured in deals and profits, but in navigating the storms life throws at the heart. Through adversity, the lesson emerges clearly. Even success cannot insulate one from the complexities of family, friendship, and law, and resilience is forged not in comfort, but in confronting the harshest realities head-on. Even after years of loss, Rick Harrison refused to let his story end in despair. With the original Pawn Star series on indefinite hiatus in 2025 and familiar faces like Corey stepping away, the future of his empire seemed uncertain. Yet in adversity, Rick saw opportunity. He began pitching a new concept, Pawn Stars 2.0, to multiple networks, including HBO. The idea was not simply to reboot a show, but to craft a fresh narrative that blended business acumen, human stories, and family dynamics in a new light. Reinvention demanded courage. Rick knew the audience had high expectations, and the legacy of the original series loomed large. Every pitch, every meeting, carried the weight of a lifetime of triumphs and heartbreaks. Behind the confident exterior was a man shaped by grief, by legal battles, by loss of loved ones, yet unwilling to surrender his dreams. Fans could sense the quiet hope he carried, a reminder that persistence is often the only path through uncertainty. Even as he navigated negotiations and planning, he remained deeply aware that the value of his work was not measured in ratings alone, but in the lives he touched, viewers who found inspiration in his resilience and authenticity. Rick's journey toward Pawn Stars 2.0 highlighted an essential truth. Reinvention is less about erasing the past and more about learning from it. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every failure added nuance and depth to his vision. In a world that often celebrates only success, Rick demonstrated that the human capacity to rebuild, to hope, and to pursue purpose in the face of adversity is the story worth telling. By 2025, Rick Harrison's net worth hovered around $8 to $9 million, built not only through the pawn shop, but also through books, public appearances, and other ventures. Yet wealth alone cannot capture the human story behind it. Each dollar, each rare item purchased, and each deal negotiated carries layers of experience. Lessons in resilience, adaptability, and the quiet endurance required to survive losses that few can imagine. Rick's life illustrates the complexity of legacy. While audiences see the humor, the collectibles, and the deals, the real story lies in endurance. He lost a sister, parents, and a son, and faced legal turmoil while maintaining a public persona. The weight of grief and the pressure of expectation did not break him. They shaped him. His openness about Adam's death and the opioid crisis gave voice to countless parents navigating similar pain, transforming private sorrow into public empathy. In reflecting on his journey, Rick's story becomes not merely a tale of commerce, but a meditation on human resilience, the enduring bonds of family, and the courage to continue building even when foundations shift beneath your feet. Rick Harrison's life, like any epic journey, is a study in contrasts, triumph and tragedy, loyalty and betrayal, public adoration and private grief. Fame brought opportunity, yes, but it also exposed him to scrutiny, legal pressures, and heartbreak that could not be softened by wealth or recognition. The Pawn Stars' empire rose because of his vision, but it also demanded sacrifices, relationships strained, loved ones lost, and personal pain endured in public view. And yet, through every trial, Rick demonstrated something profoundly human: resilience, empathy, and the capacity to rebuild. His story reminds us that success is rarely linear, that ambition carries weight, and that the human heart bears scars invisible to the camera. Beyond the collectibles, the ratings, and the fame, Rick Harrison's journey is ultimately about endurance, the ability to confront loss, to pivot in the face of uncertainty, and to hold on to hope even when everything seems to crumble. In the end, the measure of a life is not found in wealth or notoriety, but in courage, compassion, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward, no matter the cost.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.